A lot of times it has happened to me that people used to call me strange because I put God as the foundation of my life. He comes before anything else in my life. He is the fuel of my growth, development, and all the things that I do in life. He is the center of my life. For this reason, sometimes I've been called strange because I'm a little bit out of the ordinary. Normally, people of my age are not so interested into faith, spirituality, religion, and stuff like that. And I'm actually very sorry for them because once I implemented prayer and faith into my everyday life, my overall life, well-being, and everything about my life has my perspective about life has totally shifted, and I could not be more happy about it. Of course, God created our world, the entire universe. Hi guys, my name is Marussia and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to break down for you how I implement God, faith, and prayer into my everyday life. I want to give you some advice about how you can implement Him into your life as well in order to live the happiest life that you can. Because for me, the centrality of God in my life is what truly brought happiness. When I really started prioritizing Him above anything else, that's when I really became happy. I consider myself a happy person, a happy human being. Of course, sometimes you have not the best day, and I can also feel sad because I'm a human. It's normal that as a human being, I go through all the emotions. I experience the whole spectrum of emotions, that's for sure. But God is something that really helps me into my everyday life to live actually a fulfilled life and to be happy on a daily basis. For me, there's nothing better than dedicating my entire days to Him. I see faith as a daily discipline. For example, I like to implement God into my mornings, into my morning routine through prayer and things like that. I always start the day by praying for myself, for my friends, for the people I love. When I know that I have to do some things, I make sure that I dedicate all the actions that I do to Him. By doing this, He gives me grace, and I am much happier doing everything that I should do. For example, when I have a jam-packed day of work, I really love to tell Him, I give this day for you. Sometimes I travel a lot for work, so I'm away from home and spend most of the time alone. And when I'm on modeling trips and I say, oh, I'm not so happy to be away from home, I would like to be with my friends, with my close ones. But then I feel His closeness to myself, and I can really be the best version of myself thanks to that. I don't just pray in the morning, I have a set of practices that I implement throughout the day. For example, before meals or before doing something important, I always pray. I also like to meditate, and also most of my meditations are intended into a religious way. That really helps me feeling closer to Him because you know how powerful meditation is. So this is something that I really enjoy doing. If I know that the next day I have a very busy, difficult day, I like to do that before going to sleep. That really helps me because when I wake up, His presence, like He was close to me during the things I have to do during that day, and I could not be happier about it. Let me tell you, faith keeps me really motivated and focused when I'm not so energetic and I don't have much motivation to do things that I have to do. I always remember dreams that I have inside my heart, which are very big dreams. They are so big because God put them in my heart. Since God put them in my heart, it means that I'm capable of achieving them if I really give my best every single day and I show up as the best version of myself. For me, it's like a certainty, something that I absolutely take for granted in everyday life. That's why I consider myself to be a hardworking person because I know that in order to get His grace, and in this sense, His grace means achieving the dreams that I have for myself and making them reality, I will be able to do that because He put these dreams inside of my heart. I have this precise set of dreams because they are bonded with my personality, with my heart, with my soul. That's why I don't have some other type of dreams. And I think this links to the theory of Neville Goddard, because Goddard says that we have our dreams portrayed through our imagination. And what is the imagination? Basically, our imagination is God inside ourselves. So if we have a certain type of dream, if we are able to imagine ourselves, to see actually ourselves when that desire will be fulfilled, it means that God put that dream inside of us, inside of our imagination, and we are absolutely capable of achieving that. And to be precise, actually, Neville Goddard says that since creation is finished and everything has been created, we are already achieved that dream. So we have to act and think in the perspective of the desire fulfilled, because in reality, we already fulfill our dreams, but not in this time and space. So there already exists a version of us who already achieved these dreams, who achieved everything that we have in our heart to achieve. But we have to align to that version of ourselves. I must say that faith also guides my physical lifestyle. I really like to pay attention to my nutrition, training, and healthy habits. Why nutrition? Because God gave me this body. I move, I act in this world through this body that God gave me. My body is a powerful machine and I have to respect it. How can I respect my body? First of all, by nutrition. I am a vegetarian, but you can eat whatever you want. You should prioritize your health, well-being, and everyday life. You should care about your body, because to have a body is such a powerful thing that, of course, we take for granted because we were born with that. But thanks to our bodies, we're able fulfill our dreams, to move into this world, to implement actions every day. And then training. Why training is so important? While training, working out, going to the gym, running, or doing whatever thing that you want to do, you hack your happy hormones. You show up as the healthiest and happiest version of yourself every day. Training is to build strength, to build resistance, and all that stuff that keep us healthy in the long term. There's like a huge difference. For example, see two persons of the same age, let's say two persons of around 70, 60, or whatever, and you'll see like the difference between who has worked out in whole entire life and who hasn't. I think it is so powerful. I think that it's important that you reserve a bit of your time to actually work out, to be the best version of yourself. The way I pursue health is to respect the body that God gave me, which I work a lot on. I'm a model, so I spend a lot of time working on my body and care for my nutrition. I think that this is also a form of respect of such a big gift that He gave to me, which is my body. And guys, like health is so important. When there's health, there's everything, and we should never forget about this thing. And then I think that's also very important to find the correct balance for yourself between discipline and rest. Discipline is amazing. It really moves mountain. Where motivation doesn't get, that's where you have to implement discipline in order to get. So, for example, you can have a new goal, a new dream, something like that, and you can be absolutely highly motivated for that. Also, for the dopamine spike from having a new big dream and the willingness to start something new, that gives you a lot of power, which I consider as motivation. But as time passes by and you're into the journey of whatever you want to achieve, you have to implement discipline. Discipline is the thing that makes you do things also when you don't feel like that. For example, oh, today I'm tired, I don't want to go to the gym. Discipline is what makes you go to the gym. Or, for example, I really want to eat junk food. I really want to stay up late. I want to go party and drink with my friends. Discipline is what makes you grounded. Discipline is what makes you realize what's really important in life. And it's what actually makes you get out of bed in the morning and do things also when you don't feel like doing them. But of course, we are human beings, so it is very important as well to rest. And rest is not something that you should deserve after working hard. We as human beings deserve rest, and it's very important to prioritize rest. For example, let's say that you had a really busy week, and you know that also next week will be busy for you, and maybe your friends that are not in the same state as you are, they're telling you like, let's go party, let's go do that other thing, and let's go drinking, which I mean, it's not bad when you're young. You can do that every once in a while. But I think that this type of things, if done continuously, like they lead you out of your path. You see your path, your journey, you go for that. And I think that this kind of things are like distractions for you. So you really have to pay attention. That's why I think that you should prioritize rest. Also, to be disciplined every single day, you have to implement a good dose of rest every single day. You have to protect your sleep schedule as it's sacred. People prefer to stay on TikTok, Instagram, endlessly scrolling stuff that doesn't give you any value. Then they wake up in the morning, they're drained, they don't have the physical forces to actually do what they should do. You have to prevent this. You have to act before this situation happens. That's why you should prioritize rest and find the balance between discipline and rest. You should not be too hard on yourself, too strongly disciplined. That's like a problem. I'm saying these things to myself because this is a problem that I tend to have. You have to understand when your body is asking you for rest in order to come back stronger and be energetic and full of forces to do things that you have to do. The key for this, I think, is that you really have to understand where to focus and go on and keep on working, and when to actually stop and take some time for yourself. I think this understanding is a form of respect towards God and the body and the mind gave to us in order for them to function in the best way possible. I really like to talk about motivation, and I'm pushing to reach my goals. I like to remain always aligned with God's purpose. How can I do that? In this world, a lot of people, as I was telling you before, are absolutely not interested into their relationship with the divine, with God, or with whatever they might believe. While for me, it is something that really guides me into an ethical and moral way, into the everyday life, into the everyday choices. So I think that, yeah, I had this set of goals and I want to make sure that I reach them, which will not make me go far away from God's purpose of life, on how God told us through the Bible life. So I will never go against, let's say, God values in order to achieve something in this world, because this is not like even the real world of God. This is just like our human world. So we always have to remind that living accordingly to his values is even more important, like getting a material object or a victory, all these kind of dreams that we have. Yes, of course, they might be very important for us, but let's not forget that the really important things are others, and we should remember that every single day in order to don't make mistakes. And if you're someone who really cares about acting in a certain type of way, following a certain set of values and morals, then you're gonna succeed for sure in life. The point of this argument is just that I think that you have to put God first in everything that you do. That's the key. Faith is really what gives me energy to keep on building, to keep on working and growing. Also, when the progress might feel very slow, because of course, for sure, you will be able to see a big picture. So, after years of working on a goal, you'll see the bigger picture. It's normal to be intimidated by the greatness of a goal and to be a little scared of that. But also, if progress feels slow, you still have to be reminded that you're still moving, because you're acting, if you're working on yourself, you're moving forward. Hard work always pays off in every area of life. So don't be scared about it. Guys, like for sure, if you act in God's will, you'll be recompensated. That's 100%. And then I think that the most important thing when speaking about goals, motivation, discipline, dreams, and all this good stuff is gratitude. Like, gratitude should be the foundation of your everyday life, of everything that you do, of everything that you want. In order to have more, you have to be grateful about what you already have. I already spoke about this thing in some other videos that I did, because when you are grateful for what you already have, you're already operating from abundance mindset. You're already showing the world showing the universe and showing to God that you're abundant person and that you're ready to obtain all the blessings that God has for you. And whilst when you operating from a scarcity mindset and you're like scared and you're not happy about what you already have, then well, most likely the first thing that God will give you is then most likely God will teach you to be grateful about what you already have. And you might say, oh, I'm not reaching my goals and my life sucks, but He is not making you reach your goals just because you're not grateful for what you already have. You're operating with this curse mindset, which is very dangerous for yourself and for your growth. Faith is my ultimate long term vision because my future, my entire future, the long term vision that I have about my life is totally dedicated to God. I have like these goals that I told you about, but they're absolutely built and intended into God's respect. I want to implement every day in my life His morals. I want to live as a Christian every day in order to reach these goals, these dreams. I don't want to put these goals first in the sense that I will not be respecting God. Ultimately, I will not be able to reach them if I don't follow His path, or maybe I could reach something, but I don't want to reach, not acting accordingly to His values and how He intended me to live my life. I will for sure lose something. So I really like to stay grounded and to do everything I can do with keeping in mind that I was created by God. And so why shall I like act not accordingly to His morals and values? Because everything that I will gain, like it will be absolutely very quickly lost. And then guys, it's mandatory in this highly competitive world to believe in ourselves in the sense that we know we are capable of achieving whatever we want to achieve. But in this whole process, it is important, I think, to stay humble. But what does it mean to stay humble? For me, being humble doesn't mean saying, oh, I'm not good enough, I don't know how to do that. And there's a lot of people who can do this better than me and this kind of stuff. This is not being humble. For me, being humble is reminding myself every single day that everything I'm capable of actually doing it thanks to God. It's God who gave me this big dream. It's God who put this dream inside my heart, and that's why I have to remain centered and humble towards Him because I owe everything that I have to Him. So, how I think that we should all stay humble in our lives, but then it is absolutely important to celebrate our own wins, to be happy about our own wins and all that stuff. That's like central in the journey to achieve our dreams. So let's not forget why in the first place we have this set of dreams and we are actually capable every day of getting up, implementing actions on a daily basis towards our goals and in order to be the best version of ourselves. This is all thanks to God and the fact that He gave us life because guys, what I'm talking about. He created the whole entire universe. Of course, we have to be humble and we have to surrender to Him. Faith is not something that's separating me from success, but faith is really what will make me succeed in life. Faith isn't something that separates you from that success that you want to gain, but it's really what will make you gain that success in the first place. Because if you have that objective, that goal in your heart, it is just because God put it in your heart. Did you see how many people are without dreams, without goals? They wake up in the morning, they don't know what to do. It means that maybe they did not put God as center of their life. But of course, when I speak about God, I refer the Christian God because I am a Christian, a Catholic Christian. But of course, when I speak about God, I just speak about this like very big and powerful entity. For you. It might be another type of God from another religion or maybe the universe, energy, all this kind of stuff. This thing that you believe in is what makes you succeed in life, and it will never be what separates you from the success that you meant to achieve. I'd like to know how you implement faith, prayer, and God's presence into your everyday life, into your everyday growth. Let me know in the comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, to leave a like to this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!